to hear either something that really touched you or moved you in our show, or also invite you to ask our team here any questions you have about their process of creating this show or performing or anything you might want to ask. So let's test this out. Anybody have a question
Outside,
or a share?
Outside, yes.
Okay.
Mama
You
guys, this was amazing, and I could talk forever, but the thing that really got me this time was how you incorporated the music so brilliantly with the pieces. So I'm just wondering, since I know rehearsal time is limited, especially with a band, how did you do it?
Okay, all right.
What's wrong?
Hey, my name's Richie. For those of you who don't know me, a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work, not only from the band itself, but from these men in here. It's an amazing process, taking two things that are disparate, right, and melding them together. We play out on the yard, right? We're constantly out on the yard every day, right? And when we found that we had an opportunity to do this as band leader, I was not going to pass on this. You know, I'm a ham.
And him.
So music is, I'm Dwight. Hi, everybody. Music and creativity and writing and poetry and acting and art of any kind helps us, I'm going to speak a little bit on behalf of everybody, get through this prison experience. When you're locked down, if you're given a life sentence and you've got decades of time to do, you wonder, who am I? Where's my humanity? What is this? What am I supposed to do with this? And the state of California says, find your rehabilitation and your punishment. Find it. So being able to get around a bunch of fellows that have, and great outside supporters, sponsors who have talent to say, you know what, you can do this. You can play your instrument. You can write your songs. You can sing. You can do stuff that all us hardened convicts never thought we were supposed to be able to do. So the music, for me, is a lifeline. It's a real spiritual connection.
Medicine.
So it is medicine. It's absolutely medicine. And then to be able to come in here and support the fellas and the ladies in Shakespeare, that's a real treat too, because then we get to blend the two, we get to marry it all together. So we appreciate you for coming in, and we thank you for all your energy that you gave to us
today. Thank you. Okay, I have a mic, and I told you I'd like to sound my own voice, so I say something. Shouldn't have passed it over here. Now, what I want to do is thank our stage crew, because it ended up being ladies somehow. I don't know. They did a tremendous job for the table. And reluctantly, I'm going to pass this thing away.
We have another question from the audience or comment? Or, I'm sorry, did you want to comment on that question?
Oh, no, it's fine. Ladies first.
Thank you. I enjoyed all of the performances and the writing very much. I'm just curious, we were told at the beginning that your performances were inspired by the Comedy of Errors. And I wonder if anyone could comment on any connections or inspirations or relationship to that play.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Antoine Williams, and my connection to the Comedy of Errors was the estranged relationship I had with my brother. It was, I want to say, like most relationships, but unique in itself, simply because after his passing, after we weren't able to be together, I started to see a lot of our similarities. And, you know, it was unfortunate, but as you guys know, in Comedy of Errors, the whole thing is about brothers who are actually never together until the end, and then it's over. So that was my connection. Thank you.
Mike's not on.
Oh, there's one.
Help it out, kid.
Hello, everyone.
Who are you?
My name is Ray Jeter. Ray Jeter. Hey, I love you, Ray Bone. Thank you. The way my piece would resemble to Comedy Errors was I played Dromio, right? Dromio. And he was like a servant, and he had a twin brother as well named Dromio Ephesus. Big tall right there. The way I did it is like I seen like Dromio, they was always getting bullied. All the drummers is getting bullied, stuff always hit, and if they mess up, they get hit. If they don't do nothing, they get hit. No, and like I seen that as a form of bullying, right? And it's like it took them a while, like I realized towards the end, really the show was about the Dromios like coming together as brothers, right? And when I seen Tall play Dromio Ephesus, it reminded me of my boy John, right? Because we was all both goofy and stuff, so that was like my real brother. And he sadly he killed himself from bullying, you know, and I told his parents I was going to do a show for him in honor of his name, right? And so me doing this piece actually brought me peace in myself, right? And so it's like now I can move on, you know, so thank you.
Well.
Anyone else want to answer that question or another question from the audience?
Hello. Don't be shy. We know you're out there.
I see your hand. Two.
Yeah, I was very touched by so much of everything. I think the breaking the cycle and when it was, you know, your father's death. I thought that was the most powerful for me at the moment that's coming up. That and the camaraderie and the teamwork that you all showed was incredible. Like Soraya said, it's not about being better or worse. It was like I saw people, it felt like to me this was your story and you were in the background and letting everyone else shine and create it for you. And it was just very touching for me. And the last thing I wanted to, well, there's one more thing I wanted to say really quick, and then I had a question. The way you guys, your brothers, and the way you're touching each other was so kind and tender and related. It was, and I don't think we have that enough in our society out here,
Agreed.
let alone, and so it was just so beautiful for me to see that with men, especially. And my question is, after you perform this or see this performed, and this is your life, how do you come back? I mean, I know it took a little time for some of you, but it's so touching to me, and I'm just curious, when it's your own story that's so deep and powerful, how do you come back from that, or how do you process it?
All right, bro.
Well, truthfully, I'm not back. You know what I'm saying? Because my father just got killed in June, and so I'm not back. You know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to I did this just to try to face what I'm going through, put it out there, and just basically just throw out there all what I've been going through. You know what I mean? Cause he died June 13th, so June, July, August, I was very angry, and I've been down. Okay, a little bit about myself. I've been down since I was 16, and I'm not innocent. I murdered Antonio Young on the streets of Oakland. Living the street life, selling drugs, doing all that stuff, and so for a long time I used to just point blame and try to justify, my doings of the streets, or he shouldn't have did this, he shouldn't have did that. So I've been down 17 years, I'm 33 now, and I've been just evolving and changing and just going through a whole lot, and just okay, trying to hold myself accountable, take responsibility for my actions, not blame anybody for my choices I made, and try to make amends by teaching people and showing that my actions that I did is not the way to go. And so for a long time, I've been changed. I've changed drastically, like, you know what I mean? And when this hit, like, it took, all that change was up. All that change was up.
You all right? You all right? Bring it on, man. You all right? You all right? Time.
That change was up. That change was out the window. It was, I swear it was, it was gone. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I felt like I wasn't changed. I felt like everything I was doing was just flushed down the toilet. So I try to do everything that I've been doing, going to groups and going to church and praying, and so I knew it was gonna be God that was gonna be the one that was gonna do it. So I was just like, man, like, what? Give me some kind of signs or whatever. And it started out basically, I remember seeing like comment that came through, the rapper comment came through. I said something to him, kind of like got a dose of, freedom a little bit. So I spent off. Then I went to I was a machinist, so I seen the Titan dude. He told me he had a job for me when I get home, as long as I stick with it. Then my boy Sean, that works in Rise Enterprises, I did a graduation for him. He said he had a job for me. So I started seeing all these opportunities that just started coming. And then I met a woman named Michelle, and so we was like kind of like going boom. So I just started seeing God just started handing me all this stuff to really like take away a lot of the pain that I was going through. And so it gave me something to weigh. Like everybody kept saying, oh, your freedom, and why would you risk going home and retaliate, and freedom this, freedom that. I'm like, freedom, I don't care about freedom when it comes to my father. That's how I was feeling. And so I'm like, man, okay. So I started weighing my positive stuff that I got going on as versus the negative. And then calling home and hearing my mama mad, talking about, come home and come take care of this. That was another thing that was hindering me. And so she gradually started getting over it and started getting cool. So when she started getting cool, I started looking at the stuff that I had positive. I started seeing about breaking the cycle. And so I started realizing just to cut it, but I but I didn't want to be fake, and so I didn't want to just tell everybody, yeah, I'm changed, and then get out, because I should be, I'm going for board and I'm doing programming and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to just be fake and act like, okay, I'm gonna change and I ain't gonna do nothing. So I did this play so I can see it, I can see myself, I can hear myself. I can really convince myself, and I can see, okay, am I really going to do the right thing or not? And so I realized, if I go out there doing the wrong thing, it's going to set everything off again. So I'm back to square one, what I've been doing a long time ago, and so it's back and forth. I'm like, why I got to keep going through this cycle? So I really don't. You know what I'm saying? So I realized that, I'm going to just let that go. They didn't really mean to just kill him. They just beat him up and he just so happened to die. And it's just not about that. I gotta live life. I don't have no kids or nothing. So I'm about to just go live my life and go. And last but not least, when I said the Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X and all that, the reason why I said is it hit me one day man, if I go out there spreading this message to these kids, not just kids that's just going through things, but kids that lost a father to gun violence. Everybody hasn't lost a father to gun violence. Not putting my story over nobody's, but that's very unique. And so if I can push my story, coming from a person that have taken a life, I've taken a father from a little girl named Talia, which is now 18 years old now. I've taken a father. So for me to take a father, change his life, get his father taken, not resort back to what he used to be, if I see them kids that are like that, they're only going to listen to me. So I'm just going to go push that message and just go, be strong just like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Now, to continue that, it's very few of us in here that haven't suffered some kind of major abuse when they were kids or lost somebody to gun violence. And so, without even realizing it, a lot of us act as a support network for each other. You know, the thing is, some of us deal with it by turning to dope. Some of us deal with it by going to group. Some of us deal with it by coming to church. Some of us deal with it by exercising excessively and things like that. You know, you just hope that when things happen, you respond to it the right way. And that's what a lot of the self-help groups, the anger management, the victims of impact, and different things like that prepare you to do. We are far more accustomed to loss and disappointment than we are, good things happen to us. Because most of us come from well below the poverty line and uneducated families without anybody having ever gone to college. And we have this really low self-esteem without even realizing it. You got a guy walking around with his chest puffed out, acting all arrogant, but really everything he does is counterproductive to having a good life. So we all bounce back some kind of way. Sometimes it just ain't the right way.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Redbone Chillin. I'd like to thank Ray Jeter for inviting me to this beautiful inspiration of goodness, of soul, a reason to continue on. And thank God for letting them to give us this heavenly bliss that some of us are so far down and trying to find ways to build ourselves way back up, to find our ways back in life and back into society, not only as other people's lives as well as our own lives, just as well. You guys are the cure for pain. You're the inspiration for all bad things, because you guys have that soul and you have that passion and that understanding to share this knowledge of everything that all you guys went through. We've either seen it or experienced it ourselves, and it's lovely. And I'm just sitting back here laughing a little bit, and people getting beat on and punched on. I've experienced those things too. I've been abused too. I've lost 2 people in my family since I've been down. And I asked God, please show me. And thank you, Ray Jeter. Ray Jeter, man. Thank you guys are so beautiful. There's always a way when you understand life's poetry. Thank you. Wednesday class, I want to commend each and every one of y'all. Thank you. Each and every one of y'all did a good job. So what I want to ask is like a 3-part question. How does it feel to finally feel human? Be seen as human? And most of all, what is something that you want each and every one of these strangers that's in here to take away to society from you? What do you want them to mention you as when they go back out there in society to talk about what they see today?
Okay, so I would like to make a correction. These are not strangers, these are our family. I just want to say that.
Yeah, but some of us are a little strange.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's Leslie right there. Give it up for Leslie. So, I would say that, I've already, seen myself as a human being. I think that's the first part of the hurdle that we have to get over in order to realize that is a thing for us. You know what I mean? Is to see ourselves as human, and that we are people, and that we bleed the same, we love the same, we hurt the same as anyone else in this world. So outside of that, like what I would say, what I want everybody in here to get from us, what I would think you guys to take with you, is just that have understand what empathy is. You know what I mean? Have a high level of empathy, because I feel that once you start to really understand what empathy is, it doesn't matter, what gender you are, what ethnicity you are, right? How old you are. You're gonna feel what a person is going through because you have an understanding of what that is, just based on your own experiences. So I personally would like for you guys to really understand what empathy is, and you will start to understand all of us a whole lot more, right? But also you will understand yourselves so much more, and also look at how a lot of structures and systems are set in place for us to be divided from each other, for us not to love each other, for us to see us as other than human beings. So that's what I would like for you guys to take with you. I'm taking out my books.
I didn't see that. I am a human. In answering that question, I am a human being a human. I'm in the process of being. Which before I began to wake up, and that's what the song that I sang about is waking up in the middle of my life. I was 41 years old when I stopped using drugs. I spent the first 25 years in prison. I've been down 34. I came to prison in 1985. And I spent the first 17 years blaming everybody else, blaming you. Seriously. For my problems. And staying loaded out of my mind because I didn't want to look at what I had become. When my father died in 2003, something in me snapped, right? And I understood that I was disaffected with where I was at. And I began the process of, number one, getting clean, and then begin the healing. And what I saw when I looked was very dissatisfactory to me. Some people think it still is. But that's not it. Right? But the point is this, right? Is, you know what? We can be good to each other. We can be good to each other. And kindness isn't a weakness. It's a strength. It's a strength. And you know what? And if I practice that on a daily basis, right? I do my best. Even when I'm in a bad mood, and Lord knows you guys have seen me in a bad mood. Everybody except the band, you know. They've seen me in my bad moods, right? And it happens. But I have a support system here. When I was young, I refused to ask for help because I thought I knew everything. And I didn't know a squat. When I woke up, I realized that, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to stop, take a breath, and ask for help. And when I'm coming back to the community, folks, I'm coming back, right? I know in my heart I am, right? And I may very well be your neighbor someday, right? But I have to do the work now and not wait till I get to the gate in order for that to happen. If I wait till I'm at the gate, it's not going to happen. That's reality. You hear me? Yeah. So we're all going through this thing of being beings, right? And you know what? One thing I need you to understand from me personally, and I believe it's the same for all of these, and with this I promise I'll stop, is that you need to understand that every single one of us on this planet are connected. Every single one of us should be accountable to each other. We don't have to always agree on our political views or other issues, right? But there's one thing that we have, and that's our humanity. And when all else fails, we have that. These men around me, I love these guys. I love these guys. And you know what? I feel loved in this group. We have absolutely amazing people that are bringing this great gift into us. And I make it a point to tell her on a constant basis. This one. Because I'm healing. Thank you.
That one over there.
Oh yeah, she knows that.
Leslie.
Praise God. Yeah.
That's the Queen Bee.
Queen Hill.
Derry Brown, known as Brother D. I just joined this team here a few months back, so this is my first time acting with them. Right?
You did a great job, too.
I give God the glory for that one. Human. Yeah, I have a belly button, so I think I am human. And what I would like to comment on to that question is we are all siblings in this humanity, this world, this terrestrial plane called Earth. What I would like for you guys to take back is altruistic acts. It's not always about self. Yeah, look at that, my family. And there, as I'm transitioning to elder status, right?
What?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I see that there's a slight disconnect from youth and the elders. So I'm gonna go old school with this one. Young cats, respect your elders.
I will.
Right? And flip that coin. Elders, love on the young. You see? Bridge that gap. In the name of Jesus, praise God. Amen.
Question, Leslie.
I want to start by saying thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very much.
And how touched I was by your movement was just incredible. Thank you. And I also want to say too, as someone who taught reading to middle schoolers who had learning challenges, that it breaks my heart that any child would be punished in any way at all, because learning is a challenge for them. So thank you for that one.
Thank you so much. What touched me most about your stories was the vulnerability that you were able to bring forth. That was so consistent. And you know, what I want to learn and what I'm curious about is how, having access to that, which is such a strength, you can like maintain and live that in an environment where others, you know, may not value that and you know, hold that in the sacredness that you've found. Like, how do you manage that?
My name's Jim, and I haven't really been a part of Shakespeare. These guys model for me what it's like to act, and so I learned vulnerability just from being around people that are sensitive and that are willing to open up and do whatever their expression is, whether it's dance, whether it's art, whether it's some form of creativity, and guys just being themselves, being authentic. We get a chance to sit in groups. This is a group. There's a lot of healing in this group. That's why I like coming. I haven't missed too many of their performances. Art, music is my way of healing, but everybody has a way, and every way is equally valuable. And I get to take a wide perspective. I get to watch and I get to learn all the different forms of expression we have, and it's all a result of transforming, reaching inside ourselves, quieting our minds. And there's so many different ways to do it. There's Markel the Gazelle is a runner, and he's a really good. He's very fast, and he does it through running. He does it through art, and somebody else does it through music. Somebody else does it through dance, and it's just an opportunity here at San Quentin that we don't get at other institutions, and we're trying to take advantage of that. So Shakespeare has given us an advantage.
I just wanted to say that as of this year, there are now arts programs in all of the California state prisons, and thanks to the and they are expanding. And Marin Shakespeare has programs in 11 prisons right now. Yeah, but there's are seeing that this kind of program really works. So there's more and more arts programs all the time in California State prisons now, which is a good thing, but don't get transferred.
We need to invite them. We need to invite them to our programs.
What?
Hello.
We need to invite them to our programs.
You know, the head of the California Arts Council was here last week.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Invite.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm talking with the legislators.
Yeah.
The board members.
We had Mark Levine here to see you guys perform. He came to see you guys do Shakespeare. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Jad. To answer your question, I knew I had to be vulnerable to get some weight off my shoulders, to show who I am, not hide my flaws or betray myself as something I'm not. So in order to grow and you really want to change, you have to be vulnerable. You have to accept people's advice, opinions, hear what they have to say, and sometimes they might tell you something about yourself that you might not like. But you have to be vulnerable and accept it, because if you can't accept what's broken, how could you fix it? So that's what made me put my vulnerability out there and just accept it as it is, and this class definitely helped me do that, especially that season when I did a parallel play about my growing up and really my trauma. Really started the root of my trauma. It was when my dad left Jordan and came to the U.S. And that's where really my troubles where it started. And when I came to the U.S. from Jordan, it kind of like followed me, and it didn't snowball right away, but as I got older and became a teenager, the past started coming in and the two different cultures started crashing, and I was just left more confused than anything. So it was a really fine line to walk inside the house. It's one culture. When you walk outside the house, it's another culture. And you kind of try to bounce back and forth and keep it respectful and keep everything aligned and trying to get accepted by your American friends and not trying to get shunned by your Middle Eastern friends, and you're walking two fine lines and you're just more confused. But being vulnerable, I think if I was more vulnerable outside, I think I would have been led in the right direction instead of making my own decisions that I thought was best for me at the time. So being vulnerable is extremely important if you really want to change.
Okay, the thing is this. You can't give a damn. Seriously, what happens is you start getting old and you realize you've been in prison since you was 2, like I said, and you ask yourself, would I rather get out and be fixed, or would I rather give a damn? And, you know, I came up with a saying. I tell people, when I start caring about what people in jail think about me, please knock me upside my head, you know. And I mean that, you know, because the people who like you are going to like you for you, and the people who aren't, you know, you don't have to worry about them, you know. But at least the people who are around you, at least you know they like you for who you really are, and it's not a game or some kind of gimmick. So actually, it's pretty easy to keep walking the walk if you care about the right things.
So first, I want to thank you all.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
performance. But the whole wanting to be seen, I think you're right. We are all together. We all want to be seen. You want to be seen. And I want to thank you, as you're speaking of your vulnerability. You're showing us your vulnerability, and that lets us see you. And it also is, I'm sitting here and I'm learning so much from all of you about that. I mean, I'm out here and
Not right now, you're not.
and how hard it is for me to be vulnerable. I mean, I'm in a pretty safe space here. And for you to do that, it takes such courage. And you are an amazing inspiration. So I thank you.
When I was on level 4, it was hard to sing, dance. You know, we had to put on that mask of being tough. You know, and then went to level 3, just being that stoic, strong, macho that Middle Road belief system. You know, you don't want to show your human side. You know, we become desensitized. But I was desensitized. This violent person. And then I came to San Quentin. I learned that more language. You know, the language that I had on the street and the language that, you know, about having empathy and compassion, you know, and sympathy and forgiveness and love. And I never heard those languages till I came to San Quentin. Someone was telling me about those words, and I was like, what's empathy? What's compassion? You know, I ain't never heard that stuff before. And when I got here, this one guy asked me if I heard nonviolent. I was like, what's nonviolent? And, you know, I was just clueless. And then, so, you know, I started understanding what the word meant and everything like that. I said, man, I never had those when I was a kid. You know, even my homeboys I'm hanging out with on the street don't talk like that. When my homeboys, they're gonna make a move, they don't say, man, let's not go, man, have empathy. You know, ain't none of us in the car can spell empathy. You know, but I'm glad I learned that. And then I read a book by Thich Nhat Hanh, and he taught me about, you know, my childhood. I forgiving my parents got abandoned when I was 8. So he told me that, you know, I could get that to my childhood, you know, and I started doing that. And what transformed my thought process to, or recycle my thought process when I did Hamlet, and I had to put on a dress. And that's like, wow. You look great, by the way. God is grabbing on me, you know. I don't, you know, I was grabbing my chest, my dress. I felt violated, you know. And I was like standing there trying to pretend like, you know, hey, I'm not a woman, I could take this. But deep down inside, I couldn't. And I started slapping their hand and everything like that. I like, this is what women go through? Yeah. I like, wow. I like, man, it just opened my eyes and everything like that to have a deeper respect and appreciation for women. And today I celebrate womanhood, you know, because of that experience. Because I never had no parents right there to guide me in the right direction. Because I was learning everything I was learning from the street. I was mimicking that, you know. And coming to Shakespeare and everything, and you know, learning that you're more than your crime or more than any label that they're putting upon you and everything like that. I started learning that, reading this program. They've been very transformative for me, you know, where I'm able to share about my child experience to other, you know, so other kids can know, have other ways of dealing with their experiences, you know. So I'm beginning to be open about what I've been through and everything like that. Hopefully I can help somebody else, you know, and that's what this program, I mean, I've been here for a minute, and I love it, and it's been helping me, you know, and being human, being connected, you know, because I used to we used to dignify things, dignify people, objectifying people, and it's easier to hurt people when you can do that. And so today, you know what? They're human, like me, connected with each other, you know, understand the ripple effect, the cause of my action, and I could, just like the recycled can, you could recycle paper, you could recycle plastic, that's renewable. So why can't a human life be much more than that? And so you guys coming here today letting us know that, hey, y'all believe in renewable energy and renewable life, that people can change. So take that back. Y'all
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben, and firstly, I would like to say I've had an amazing experience with everyone here. I had only been a part of this group maybe for about a month, and the amount of warmth and support from these guys is just amazing. I never would have thought to have found something like this in a prison. This is my first prison term, and I'm in a different housing unit. We still have the knuckleheads you all hear about. We still have everybody doing certain things in prison that we all know, but this is different. This is the kind of stuff that's going to make a lasting impact on everyone's lives, and it's amazing. I've never been a part of theater. I've never taken those opportunities when they were available before, and being here, you know, and being very stoic, this is a wonderful chance for me to transform myself. And the love in this room and the genuine support of all of you is just incredible. I'm baffled, actually. I'm blown away. You know, I'm not used to this in my own life with my own family. So this is amazing. So thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Rick.
Hi, Rick. Hey, Rick. Hey, Rick. What's up, Rick?
I hope you guys get how you touched us. It's incredibly humbling. I look around and I look at myself. We all have tears in our eyes. We're also laughing our asses off. Because hilarity is a flip side of tragedy, just like Shakespeare. Tragedy and comedy. So a friend of mine called hilarity another name for holy joy. So you guys brought us holy joy, and I want to thank you. Taking the armor, cracking it open, and letting the light in. So blessings to you guys. My question is, when are Dee and Gino, Maserati, and Quentin Blue going to put the album out?
I got one for that. I got a quick one for that. Gino and I have been talking, so we might start working on something soon. And Quentin Blue adopted me as they raising in the sun. So. And Maserati, you know we can always get together. And Banks too, don't hold on Banks. And Kells and
What do you think, Richie? Can you do it while you're here, or you got to get out first?
Here's the thing, right? Everything has to be done above board.
Yeah.
Right? Everything, and this is my mindset, everything has to be done legitimately, right? There are amazingly, as you've seen, talented individuals in here. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful, right, to get an opportunity to be on the stage with these cats. You know? But the thing about recording is this: what we would have to do is we would have to have someone from the outside come in, right? And I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it, right? Be an advocate for us in terms of getting this music out, whether it's to raise money for St. Jude's, right, which is where my heart lies, right? There are a myriad of things that we could contribute to the community with what we have, right? But see, we have to make sure that we do it so that, frankly, that we're not a threat to security of the institution, right? And they know that through Shakespeare or whatever it is that we're doing this for not only for our community here, but for the wider community. We're doing our best to make amends, just like we did today. So we need help from the outside, or it's not going to happen. That's the truth of the matter.
We only have time for one more question, but I saw 3 more hands. So we're going to take 3 more questions. I saw a couple hands over here. Who were the hands that were raised over here
now.
on this side? Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, and you get the last word, Laura. Oh, not Laura, Laura's sister.
Hello, I'm Marty.
Marty.
Howdy. Thanks very much. It's been inspirational to see a community of what I expect were different, not strangers to each other.
Well, we're different.
We are awesome. And we keep saying how much we appreciate how much you've shown of your real selves. It's been something that makes me feel connected to you in a way I never expected. And I'm very unhappy with this wall. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marty. There's a couple other walls we'd like to take down too.
Take care of that wall for you.
Hey guys, my name's John.
Hey, John.
Yeah, just the profound wisdom that is in the plays and the music and what you've been saying now. It's just incredible. And I really appreciate that. In fact, this is a life-changing moment for me, and I know that I'll never be the same, and I'll never think of you or what's behind these walls the same. So that's one of the things that I'll take back with me. Richie, you talked about needing to work on the inside for the outside. Well, we need to work on the inside to reach the inside.
We're here.
So, there is one question though. Are you able to take what you have here into the rest of the community here, and how does that happen?
Are you talking about taking us out on a day trip?
Yeah, that's how I take a field trip.
What do you think, Sam? Can we take them on the road?
I just want to know what can you do within San Quentin? Can you move what you learn in here out?
See those cameras right there?
That's how we do it.
But
How we do it.
But you guys, what you learn here, do you share that?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's question.
Yeah, they have concerts on the yards as well. Not asking a question.
You got a video channel.
Yes. Everything I'm learning in here, I have to utilize outside. I think that's the whole point of going to groups and being vulnerable. So you could take what you learn in here, and whatever wisdom you got in here, and whatever growth you got in here, and execute it outside. So you don't relapse and come back in. So to answer your questions, of course, everything we do in here mostly is going to follow us outside, and hopefully we can stay outside.
Two mics. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Markel. To answer that question, I just want to say a little something. I'm staying here quiet. Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens the face of another. So that's what we basically do with each other in self-help groups and on the yard and in the cells. We educate and teach each other, each one teach one. So that's what we do. And then from there, we spread it to the world. But I thank you guys, and we appreciate you guys always, because you guys help us on our healing journey. Thank you.
Well, one thing I was basically gonna say was what I took from here, what I took out there is when okay, I was doing machining. I was doing the machining work at the Titan Academy. And there was a lot of people in there getting stuck on, like me and myself included, was getting stuck on the process of trying to CAD the parts, like build the parts on the camera, design the parts, and then take it to the machine, and then actually cut it. So it was very hard, like doing those parts, because all the numbers and the math and all the angles and the different functions on the computers and stuff. So it was very hard to do that. It was like giving me headaches doing it, giving them headaches doing it. So after doing a few parts, I realized that, oh, this is just like what I learned in Shakespeare. Like I said this last time I did the Comedy of Errors, that when doing all those lines that I did, doing all those the pages of lines and memorizing and all the repeating and the going over and over and the repetition and all that, what I learned from the repetition by doing Comedy of Errors and all these big parts and stuff, I took it to the machine. And I told everybody, like, man, look, it's just like how I'll be doing the Shakespeare lines. Just repetition, repetition, repetition. Before you, I ain't saying like I just taught everybody in the machine how to be machinists, but I showed them that technique that I learned from doing the Shakespeare, that you just do it over and over and repeat it. And then like, before you know it, like I did like 8 parts of it and doing the machine and stuff. So what I learned from here is the repetition. Thanks.
And I hate to cut you off, we have time for one very quick question or comment. No, we actually only have time for one very quick question or comment because Steve has to wrap up the sound equipment and be out here in 5 minutes.
Hey you guys, I'm Carrie, and this is, hello, my first time will not be my last. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. This is amazing, and I want to thank all of you for sharing with us. You are all so talented and so joyful, and it is just so refreshing to see, like everyone else was saying, the camaraderie that you guys have, the joy, the happiness, that you're just up there doing this and getting better. Like I look at you and I don't, like you just said, you murders. I don't see that. I just see these great people that are just really trying to like reform and get out of this situation and just make things better. And it's just so inspirational, and this was so fun. And I can't wait to come back, and you guys are awesome. It was like a Hamilton. It was better than Hamilton.